All right, we'll get started. Looks like we had more people last night on a Saturday at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, like 1 a.m. Eastern. So to get started, we're going to go through like a 1 through 7 list of things that we're going to talk about. We did the small stream last night. Shout out to those who could have made it. We just quickly reviewed a few things. I didn't record it. That's why we're doing this stream, so we just have it recorded and on file for us to look back on. One of the main things we'll go over first, obviously how we start most streams, is talking about Bitcoin sentiment, where we're at, and how it's played out over the last 20 days, because we've been tracking it for the last 22 days, at least the same analysis. So we've been doing the exact same analysis for the last 20 days, and it's been playing out nicely so far. We're going to review that, see where it's at, how it's going, and then the next steps forward. And then after that, we'll talk about the overnight dip. I mean, it's practically barely a dip anymore with the retrace and the recovery we've had, but we'll talk about that. And then we'll talk about our altcoin list and the dip buys that we had and where those are at, and how to act on those even if you didn't get in them, where you're going to find your next entries, and if you did get in on the entire list, like where we're going to be taking profit. So a lot to go over this stream, and let's get started. First things first, let me pull up the comments. So if you guys have comments, if you guys want to say something, you can either say it in the Discord, because I got that chat room pulled up, and the one on YouTube. So either or, I'll just be looking in between them, and yeah, that'll be easy there. So first thing I want to pull up here on the screen is, this was on February 27th. This was like the first time where we started tracking this analysis on a potential bullish high time frame swap. We've been bearish for the last few months. Everyone knows this, but we did have an event where potentially the trend can be shifting, and we've been playing this out for, it's going to be going on. We have 7 more days, 1 more week, and it'll be a cool month where this analysis is played out pretty much perfectly, and we've been able to make profits on it consistently. One of the main things was, this was probably one of our biggest plays, was catching this major fair value gap right down at 37K, and then riding up like that near 20% move up into the major resistance. Obviously, this is where we broke down previously in December, right? With the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We started tapping this level several times. It became weak. Supply overwhelmed the demand, and we broke down, right? And then this is what started that long-term trend that we've been in for about 74 days now, right? So every time we come back up to this level here, I'll highlight this, we do get rejected, as you can see from our previous test over here. When was this? February 10th. Now, even though we did get rejected here on February 10th, this was like, this was a paramount day. Like, this was a very important day for us, because we were able to break the previous structural highs. This means that there's a sign of a potential trend shift. All we're going to need moving forward is a retrace from this level and start producing those higher lows. Thankfully, that's what we've been doing pretty much consistently from February 24th to February 27th, and then every single lower retrace forward from that, we've been making the higher lows. So consistently, the bullish trend has been holding up. We had the final sweep of all the lows, right? This took out all of the long liquidity that we needed, and the trend has been shifting. Also, we can also look at this trend line that pretty much I think every trader has had on their charts, which has been from all-time high up into all of the recent highs in December, and then back into January, and then you back into the end of January, and then you had your trend break, right? The very clean trend line breakout. You break the highs here, trend shifts, you make your higher low, and we continue here. So trend on the high time frames, still very bullish. We've been saying this for over a month now. We've been playing it several different times off of this point of interest, right? The point of interest only has been formed because it was the last red candle before the massive impulse, and consistently this occurred every single time from here. You come back to point of interest, impulse, point of interest, impulse, point of interest, impulse, and then you have your trend breakout, and now we're moving nicely, right? So I will also bring this up too. This is this chart here zoomed in so you guys can see it a little bit better. This is where it started, right? This was back in, there's no date on this chart. This was February 27th, right? This is what we're looking at, February 27th at 37K, currently sitting at 41K. Best thing about this was it was a simple fair value gap play, grab it, and then we changed the trend. There's one thing that I've been talking about consistently is although this is a bullish trend on the high time frames, there's one thing missing, and this is just breaking the previous week highs, which we weren't able to do back in the beginning of March. And this is where we're kind of like in the dead man zone, where if we sit within this middle range here, right? When I reference the middle range, I mean between the point of interest and between the potential break of highs, everything within here is kind of just like null and void. It's almost like there's not too much value on a high time frame to look at this. If you're on 4 hour or daily or above, there's not many plays to be made in here. This is why we've been saying recently you need to go to lower time frames and you can make your plays here. As you can see, 15-minute gives a bunch of different opportunities for entries here. 4 hour, not so much. So still a low time frame game if you're looking to do scalps. Back in 2020 and 2021, we were able to go in the 4 hour and make day trades based off of those levels. Not so much anymore, but as soon as this breaks, right now I want to go over this is like the final sentiment for Bitcoin is like 46K breaking is going to break the highs of February and break the equal highs back in the beginning of March. This will confirm the bullish trend, and not only are these two highs the confluence for the bullish trend shift, and I'm not saying that the bullish trend shift is going to send us to all-time highs, but very much so will send us into the 50Ks from that level. So we have the 2 week highs here, potential equal highs, take out liquidity. Not only that, on the daily time frame, we pull this up. One of the most key indicators in the entire game, the daily 200 EMA is at the exact same level. So in the event that we do come up and we break these two highs that we've been waiting for, right? These two highs breaking is a confirmation of the bullish trend. Break these two highs, you also break the daily 200, which we have failed to do before, which also sent us into the bear market in the low 50Ks. Break these two highs, first confluence. You also break the week high from February, which confirms the bullish trend shifting on high time frames. You break the daily, you get the retrace, and then back to the fun market. I would assume that we had back in 2020 as the expanding move occurs from there, because that's what this trend is at the end of the day. This is the accumulating trend of price structure, changes bullish, and this is really the bottom of the trend. I mean, you guys aren't too far off from the bottom right here with our entries at 37K. So a bunch of different confluence pointing towards higher time frames, going completely bullish here. And I want to go over some of the other key confluences for a bullish trend shift going into summer, because there were some really cool ideas that we brought up last night that I want to go over, and some of you might remember these. They were the Bitcoin dominance chart, and they were also the Tether dominance chart. So I know not many of you use these, but if you do, we'll go over them right now and show you why exactly using Tether dominance charts can show you at different points in time where the trend will shift from people holding stables to then deploying stables for demand to come back into the crypto market. So I'm gonna bring this up here. The chart you're looking at right now. Let me also check the comments. If you guys have any questions, drop them. I don't think there should be too many. We did this last night. Many of you here were here in the stream last night. This is Tether dominance, right? This is simply going to show you when USDT is growing in dominance, which means that there is more money flowing back into stable coins, which can only mean one thing. People are de-risking their crypto positions and moving into stables, right? They don't want to risk, either geopolitical conflicts, or they want to risk inflation conflicts, whatever it may be. This chart is just going to show you when people are moving into stables and de-risking, right? They're hedging their positions and going to stables. Now we'll pull up, this will show you guys pretty much exactly what I'm referencing here. We're going to pull up the Bitcoin chart right next to the side of this one. Delete all these. So when you see Tether dominance coming up to just about 5% in dominance, this means that the market cap of Tether is about 5% over the entire crypto market cap. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but this indicator, right, this indicator of Tether dominance coming up to 5% worth of the entire market cap shows you when people are starting to get out of Bitcoin, starting to get out of altcoins, and start to stabilize their positions because they believe that either the market is overheated or that they're ready to take profits on positions. Now, look at this right here. When Tether bottoms out right around 2.5%, you can see at the exact same period in time, Bitcoin was at its all-time highs and stabilizing itself, right? It wasn't really breaking out. It was ranging for about 3 months. And also you can see Tether ranging for about 3 months here. And then the market cap starts, or the dominance starts to break out, right? At the exact same time, Bitcoin starts to break down. So this is a easy indicator to give you an extra confluence. This isn't a be-all end-all indicator where you find, you know, our Tether dominance is at 2.5%. It's time to start getting out of our cryptocurrencies and moving into stables, right? This is just another confluence like the ones I showed you before to give you a boost of confidence that, you know, the bullish high time frame trend shift is upon us fairly soon. And I want to compare this to where we're at right now, right? Last time in May to June to July, right? You guys remember this, right? We were trading during this time. Bitcoin was at some of its lows. Everyone was assuming, you know, we have this, bear flag breakdown. Everyone was assuming that we're going to 25K. But the same thing happened before, right? The dominance taps out right near 5%. Dominance taps out near 5%. And then people start to deploy their Tether again and get back into the market, right? To start to buy up and produce more demand. Obviously, this overwhelms supply at the same time, creating a bullish move. And as you see, this is the exact same period. Bitcoin bottoms, Tether tops, and it reverses. And I think you guys can see where I'm going with this based off of the current chart. Bitcoin is bottoming. Tether is at 5%. Dominance drops, and you have your bullish move forward. So this is one extra confluence to look at in order to determine, you know, whether or not that the idea we have for this, you know, high time frame trend shift from bear to bull can occur. And, you know, looking at Tether right now at 5% total market cap dominance, it's indicative that this is a very high probability scenario for Tether to lose its dominance fairly soon here and Bitcoin to break out. Any questions on Tether dominance and how it relates to the market? I'll assume not. It's a straightforward idea. As more people move into Tether, the market cap increases. Shown on the chart here. This is just in a ratio relationship to all coins in the total market cap. Now, the next one is Bitcoin dominance. Try to go through these fairly fast here. Bitcoin dominance is another chart we can use in order to determine when Bitcoin is going to run or outperform the rest of the market. You know, when this is at the points in time where you see Bitcoin running 5, 6, 7%, but your altcoins are moving at, you know, $1, right? They're actually, the altcoins would be moving negative at that point in time. If you're in Discord, look at my screen on YouTube. I'm not streaming inside the Discord. Streaming on YouTube. Is Tether dominance able to go higher? Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Where did you post link at? The link to YouTube.
Crypto Archive. Yeah, the link to the YouTube is in that Crypto Archive, the same place I posted before. And to answer someone's question in the YouTube channel, yes, absolutely. Tether dominance can go further. Tether dominance can go to 10%, 57. You know, there's no stopping where Tether dominance can go to at all. However, we have to use historical trends in order to determine, you know, at what points in time have we been able to indicate that a trend can shift here. And we can see previously in you know, this was the September crash. If you guys remember this, the tech crash in 2020, right? Tether dominance maxes out 5%. And then you have your next bullish move into the end of the year and into December, right? Again, the exact same thing happens. And this is a 3-day time frame, right? So this is very long-term historical data here that has played out over time. And we're going to use it again, right? This is what you do in trading is you find historical trends, you try to depict them and use them as a confluence in order to make a move in the market. And that's what we're doing with Tether right now, right? Tether maxing out 5% dominance. Can it go higher? Yes. But what has been the historical trend? Historical trend has been 5% Tether dominance, and then people start to deploy again. Someone asked, why is 5% the range? If you look on the right side of the screen, you can see it here. There's the only values are percentile based. So you can see here 5%. I'll just place a line here to give you the exact indicator. That's where 5% is. This simply means that Tether makes up 5% of the entire crypto market cap. So 5% of the entire value of the crypto market cap is in stable coins. So I want to move on from this topic. If there's no more questions, we'll move into Bitcoin dominance, which is very similar concept. It's the exact same thing as Tether dominance, but this is Bitcoin dominance. You know, how much of the total market cap in crypto does Bitcoin make up? You know, currently sitting at 43%. This one's also very nice to use. This one isn't going to give you an indicative event of the crypto market turning bull or bear, but this will give you a easy indicator to determine when you should be in majors, right? Bitcoin or ETH, or when you should get into the higher risk speculative altcoins. And we'll go into this little diagram I have on the side in a second, but as you can see here on the 2-day frame, this has played out for just about a year now, right? This has been very consistent over the long term. I do expect this, Bitcoin dominance to actually start breaking down from this level and decreasing market cap continually over time. So the Tether chart, I expect that Tether actually could stabilize and go higher than 5%. Bitcoin dominance 100% should, over the long term, break down under 40%, go to 30, 20% as crypto becomes more popular and money spreads out across the crypto ecosystem. I expect for the health of the market at that Bitcoin should lose dominance over time. But in this scenario, what you should understand is that every time when you see Bitcoin get to that 40% dominance mark, this means that Bitcoin has been oversold consistently. Altcoins have ran insanely hard. This is the time to move your profits, right? A lot of your profits from your altcoins into Bitcoin. And as you can see over time, another very consistent indicator here, where Bitcoin bounces from the 40% mark or consolidates for a period of time, altcoins start dying. So when Bitcoin dominance increases, you can expect to go look at your altcoins at the exact same time and see them losing value consistently. And if they're not losing value, they're definitely being outperformed by Bitcoin at that period of time. So the only problem with the current state of the Bitcoin dominance chart is you are in like this mid zone, which doesn't give us too much value, right? You're at a mid zone, you haven't really tapped any major zones. You're not near the top where you can expect the alts to run because Bitcoin is overheated, nor are you even close to the bottom where you can start, leveraging your altcoins again because the dominance has, sold off so hard in Bitcoin that it's time for the money to move back in alts, right? So Bitcoin dominance chart, not too helpful at this moment, but it is good for you guys to have this, and you should have it on your watch list on TradingView so you can look at it consistently just to see where it's at. Also, you can trade this, right? Bitcoin dominance you can easily trade Bitcoin dominance on Binance. It's on Binance futures. It doesn't move too much, but every 1% is a 1% delta move, right? So easily able to trade this, and we've done it several times, right? I think the last time we even traded dominance was at this 40% lows, and we took longs. I think this was the exact point. We took longs here into Bitcoin dominance. You can make good money on it. But the next thing I want to bring up was like that. We'll pull this up on the big screen actually. We'll pull this up right here. The next thing I want to talk about was like this typical seasonality chart for crypto, right? As the market moves, what are the seasonality changes? Where is the next narrative going to go? And a part of the Bitcoin dominance chart that I showed you is as dominance is gaining value, you can expect that you're the furthest away from your alt season, right? So a lot of you who are at the point in your crypto career where you're mainly exposed to altcoins, when you see Bitcoin dominance, and this is why you should have Bitcoin dominance in your watches, is as you see Bitcoin dominance gaining value, you can expect to start losing value in your portfolio in relation to Bitcoin because Bitcoin is outperforming your portfolio based in altcoins at that point in time. So use Bitcoin dominance plus this path to alt season chart to understand at what point should you be transitioning from altcoins, focusing on your altcoins, and then going back into Bitcoin, right? So as we see, most recently, if the market turns bear, everyone is going to resort to stable coins or is going to resort to majors. And albeit Bitcoin and Tether would be the start, the first path to your alt season, getting into Bitcoin, and then you move into Ethereum, right? When you start getting talks of the flipping or whatnot that you hear on social media. And then after that, you start moving to your large caps, AVAX, Sol, Luna, which are the major ones right now, BNB, right? You start seeing that they move in phases, right? Bitcoin, and we'll bring up the Bitcoin chart right now. Bitcoin moves in phases where from January to the in the beginning of February, Bitcoin was outperforming everything during this period. Alts didn't move at all during this period, and Bitcoin, had I want to say 35% move. Now, 35% move from beginning of January to beginning of February, or end of January to beginning of February, outperformed everything. And this is the sign, right? This is the sign that at this point, at this period of time, Bitcoin was in phase one, and then Ethereum came up and Ethereum started moving, and now we're moving into the large caps, right? And we've been doing this consistent. We traded Bitcoin during this period. I personally didn't even trade Ethereum during that. I chose Bitcoin over it, and then we chose the large caps, as we can see here. This was February 27th, right? When we started moving into some of the larger caps, which are AVAX, SOL, FTM, Luna, whatever you want to call it, all the major caps that you consider layer ones in your portfolio. And we'll get into this in a second, what layer ones are and why I had determined some key layer ones that were going to be on our buy list that I put out on the Discord. We'll go over that next. Someone asked, how can you tell when phases change? As I just said, right? As you can see, in the end of January to the beginning of February, there was only one coin that what everyone was trading. There's only one coin that was outperforming everything. It was Bitcoin, right? That's phase one. Bitcoin has the money flow. This Bitcoin was surging 35%. I mean, 35% move on, $1 trillion asset is a lot. And this is how you determine that was phase one during that period. Phase two, going to Ethereum. Ethereum moved right after this, right? They moved in tandem. Ethereum started outperforming. More people started trading Ethereum. And then after that, right, during that period, a lot of these major caps, as I say again, BNB, AVAX, SOL, Luna, as I posted, these were down 14%, 11, 12%. Like these were down a lot during the same period that Bitcoin is moving a lot. So this is when we started buying these, right? And I think 3 or 4 days later, all of these were up 15, 20, 25%. So that's a period of time where you can understand when you're flipping, when the caps are moving back, right? When you're moving from large caps into alt season, and that brings me up to alt season right now, actually, right? When large caps start to go vertical, right? Or like actually vertical. And there's one coin that we can post in here that embodies this fully, which would be Luna, right? Luna was one of the first altcoins to actually come back and hit a new all-time high. We'll go here. Remember what I said, end of January, right? End of January to February was when Bitcoin was surging. At this period of time, Luna falls back, retraces its whole move. During this period, Ethereum is moving heavy, and then the large caps occur and they go parabolic. This is an indicative event of phase 3 occurring, right? This is a perfect example of the phase 3 occurring. I'll bring it back to this chart here. There it is. This is a perfect event to show that phase 3 is occurring. Luna goes 100%. I mean, a 100% move on a top 10 market cap coin is considered parabolic, right? After that occurs, alt season flows in. And as you know, we've been seeing the alt season, right? Coins like, we'll bring up audio. Coins like audio, as soon as that happens, here you go. Audio as of 2 days ago goes 100%, right? Altcoin season, this is when the shit coins start moving, the ones that may not have too much value. OGN did the same thing over a longer period of time too, goes parabolic, right? So these are periods of time where you can tell, when should you be swapping your narrative? When should you be transitioning your coins into a different ecosystem, or when you should be transitioning them into, a different field. We'll bring up this chart one more time because as we've seen, as I've shown you guys over the past, 30 minutes here, it plays out perfectly, right? Now we're in the alt season right now. All the mid caps or all the large caps have gone parabolic. They've made their major moves, and we've caught most of them. Let's see if I have a picture here. This is the next thing we're gonna go into is what mid caps and large caps have we already caught, and what's the play here going next, right? We put this out 4 days ago. Oh, this was a update on the list 4 days ago. Let's see. Let me grab the one on the first day that we posted it. 1 second. This is showing you guys how we were able to take advantage of this seasonality chart, move into a lot of the large caps before they ran, before any of the large caps did absolutely anything. We were able to take entry on pretty much every single one that had value. Here we go. This was March 8th. Let me screenshot this. Boom. Give me 1 second. Boom. Here we go. Okay. So as we see from the chart, right? Bitcoin goes parabolic. We played the Bitcoin moves. We played the literal Bitcoin bottom. Maybe not the exact bottom, but we played the Bitcoin fair value gap, which was 1,000% play from 37K all the way up to the top to 46K. We made the 20% move, hit Bitcoin, done. Move on to the next season, which is Ethereum. I personally didn't even play the Ethereum season. I moved right into large caps, and this is where the buy list comes in. This was over, what was this? 12 days ago. So 12 days ago, we put out this buy list, right? As you can see from this, let me zoom in so you guys can see it a little bit more. We have layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, and then your gamble layer, your high risk layer. this is where we moved into large caps. We moved into ETH, we moved into BNB, we moved into AVAX, CRV, Solana, and NEAR. And then I will go into the other ones too, but I'll focus on the main layer one because some of you didn't understand at the time when I posted this, what was layer one, right? What do you mean by posting layer 1, 2, and 3? So what you need to understand is this is a method of dividing your portfolio up by weight, right? The layer 1 is going to be the main weight, like the main fortress of your portfolio. It has the highest weight. Normally for me, it's about half the portfolio. About 50% of the entire portfolio is going to be made up of these 5, king guards. Right? These are the ones that I believe in: VC backing, tons of funding, dependability from other projects to stay in the game. These aren't going anywhere. This is where your higher allocation needs to be. Only downside to this is, yes, these are major caps. These are normally top 10 to top 20 coins, and you're not going to see, 20x's or 50x's on these coins. However, you're not going to see much of a, downside either. There's not going to be much downside to these coins. This is why they are the first layer of your portfolio. They hold the most weight because this is a risk-off method, and this is a risk-on method to choosing the best coins who are going to stay here long-term, no matter the market conditions, right? And then if you relate layer 1 to the Gamba layer, this is like this small layer, maybe a 1 to 5% portfolio you put in these coins. These we have, very small, or at least I do personally, right? This is because it's my list. I have very small confidence that these could last long-term, or these would hold up their weight in a continual downtrending market compared to layer 1 coins. Now let's go over what it did, right? 12 days ago, we put out this buy list. Where did it go? How did it perform? Is it doing good? Did we get crushed? Did we absolutely kill it? So over time, I gave you guys updates, right? This was 8 days later. So a whole week later, I update the entire list. We have most of the entire layer 1 are in profits here. Let's do this so I can do some highlighting. Most of our entire layer 1 list is in profits. ETH is in profits, NEAR is in profits, CRV break even, BNB break even, AVAX break even. Almost really nothing has happened here. Like layer 1 holding up very, very strong. Now we move to the layer 2. How is layer 2 performing? Well, we do have profits on DOT, but the other 3 are negative, right? Atom was negative, FTM was negative 11%, SFund minus 17%, right? Go to layer 3. How is layer 3 performing after a week? Same thing, 1 coin positive and then the other 3 negative, right? Now, let's look at this exact same list. What was this? Yesterday. This is the list yesterday. How is the list performing now? So over time, you need your patience with these coins. These aren't overnight gainers. Now the entire shopping list is in profits and deep in profits. Almost every single coin here is in profits and it's performed perfectly. The first layer to go in profit, lo and behold, which one was it? It was layer 1. Layer 1 is the first layer to go in profit here. Every single coin in layer 1 goes deep into profits. 13% on ETH, 22% AVAX, 15% CRV, 15% NEAR, 4% BNB, right? This is why it's layer 1. I go out, I choose the coins that I have very, very high conviction in. I know that these coins aren't going to go anywhere. They have a lot of value, VC backing, nothing's going to happen to them. This is why this has the most weight in my portfolio, right? So it took 12 days. During that 12-day period, halfway through that, 6 days in, right? Most of the coins were negative, right? A little bit more patience. 6 days later, your entire list is deep and deep in profit. So I just preach this all the time, which is patience in the market outpaces you trying to time the market, right? So even though we did get pretty much bottom ticked entries here on most of the coins, right? It was about patience going into this. 12 days later, now we're extremely profitable, right? Even looking at the layer 2 here, layer 2, the entire list is in profits and we have a 1 break even. And then go into your layer 3, massive profits on XRP, Joe, Magic, Matic, all in profits, and then 1 coin that's negative. And we did rebalance this from layer 2 into layer 3, which was FTM. And I told you guys about FTM before we bought it. FTM actually did have its lead DeFi dev leave the project, so it was a little bit more riskier, right? Confidence and conviction in the project definitely was lost during this period, as the main, it's like Elon leaving Tesla, right? Investors will lose confidence and it will have a retrace, as you can see from the previous post that, where is it? FTM was down 11%. And then 6 days later, you're back up, 8% on the coin. Right? So there's the update. We've been absolutely killing it all of March, right? All of March, we've hit pretty much every single move. Every single move that there could have been, we've hit perfectly. and it's been a beautiful ride so far. So entire shopping list and profits. Now the next thing to go over is what do you do now? Right? The entire list is in profits. Is there a moment that we need to understand, like, well, what's the next play here? All right. Well, first off, the next play is for those on futures. You're up profit taking margins right now. You're at the readiness to start taking profits on pretty much all of these coins here, right? Everything within layer 1 you can take profits on. Go for it, have fun. Personally, I don't think I will. Layer 1 is going to, these are bottom ticks. I don't know if you ever see these entries again, you know. I don't know if a lot of these entries you may never see again, if, you know, right? Again, if our analysis on Bitcoin is correct, you'll never see these entries that we bought our coins for again. So if you miss them, unfortunately, it does suck that you missed them, but you'll get entries again. And it's okay to buy these coins. It's okay to buy any of these coins right now, even because a lot of these coins are still down 60, 70, 80% from all-time highs. So like, and unfortunately, you might feel like you're not getting your discount anymore, but you know, zoom out, like do top-down analysis. Like a lot of these coins are still down extremely far. And this is what we did in 2020. And we did this in 2021. I put out a buy list in 2020 at the beginning of the year at the bottom. Goes insane, right? Most of the list is going 5x, 6x, 7x. Did the same thing in 2021. I put out another buy list of all my favorite coins, the ones that you need to have in your portfolio. Exact same thing. List goes 5x, 6x, 7x. But you do have to wait. You know, you do have to wait a certain period of time. They will go negative if you buy them immediately, right? They will maybe go 5, 6, 7% negative. Give the time, have patience in the market, and they recover. As we've shown you, this is a live example, right? Going through the buys to halfway in, and then into the entire list being profitable. So I hope everyone understands what the layers mean when I say layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. This is just the weight of your portfolio that you should be having these in. This is the personal allocation that I chose, and it's been working out very well. So we've gone over the Bitcoin sentiment, right? Bitcoin sentiment is currently really at that, you know, no man's zone for high time frame traders, right? You kind of don't have much to go off here. You have consistent higher lows, which has been beautiful, and this is a sign of the bullish trend accumulating over time in order for us to break these equal highs as well as the daily 200, right? We've also broken this structure here. This is a micro structure. You can see this on the 8-hour. This is the highs, right? Lower high, lower high, lower high, and then you break the structure and then you return back to the origin of wherever the previous demand was. Typically, let's see if we can find where this demand was. So a decent bounce here. I think this is a 1.5% move back to the upside. So 1.5 move back to the upside, and this was after the dip last night that we talked about this. Last night at about 9 p.m. PST, we said a lot of entries that you guys are looking for aren't going to be last night at all, right? None of them were going to be last night because the market was overheated. I was expecting a pullback going into the New York session open, and guess what happened? Guess what happened? A 2.6% pullback in just about, how long was this? So 12 hours, right? So there's the pullback from last night that we talked about. Now you can potentially find entries again. I still don't think I'm ready for them. I still think that I want to wait for New York session to open up on Monday. I want Monday's New York session to open up and then start finding some more. But this segues me into my next section, which is what am I buying right now? And there are a few coins that I am looking at buying right now. Some of you may know what they are. It has been one of the most popular coins I'll talk about for a quick second. We had a very long rant about these last night, or about this exact coin last night, and this was ApeCoin. Yeah, this is ApeCoin. So I'm bullish on ApeCoin. If you didn't get at $7, it's okay. We're definitely having a retrace right now that is going to be extremely juicy for long entries. So the basis to ApeCoin, and without me ranting about this for 30, 40 minutes, I really haven't had anyone try to argue against my ideals yet about this coin. But if you don't know what ApeCoin is, it is a coin that has been created by probably the biggest and will be the biggest for probably forever, Yuga Labs, who owns Bored Ape Yacht Club. You might know of CryptoPunks as well. They bought their IP rights recently. And this is the coin that they're most likely going to use as their domestic currency and their reserve currency in potentially the metaverse that they teased recently to create. So why is this important that we look at this coin in particular if this metaverse was to become a thing? Well, first off, we need to go to Crypto Market Cap to show you guys exactly what happened here. This coin is 3 days old. This coin is 3 days old here. ApeCoin is in the top 50 market cap after dropping 3 days ago. Now, I know that necessarily just because this coin dropped 3 days ago and it's in the top 50 market cap doesn't exactly make it, the most important coin that you should be watching. However, we've seen this once before. ICP, the internet protocol coin, right? We talked about this one at $100. I'll bring up the chart here to show you guys. We talked about ICP before. We talked about this coin at $100. You can see, here's the post. ICP dropped and within 2 weeks was in the top 10 market cap. Fair enough. The Definity Foundation founded this coin, and we did some back testing, back research, whatever you want to call it. And so their protocol, what does it do, right? What does ICP do? We need to understand this. It's in the top 10 market cap for a reason. Is the demand legit? And evidently we figured out back in May, June, July, that this coin was actually a very big red flag. It doesn't matter if it's in the top 10 market cap. It's not looking good. Get out of this coin. And we posted this, right? I gave you guys all this. I gave you all my red flags, the top 10 of why you should not own this coin. And as you can see, it is down 88% since that post. And I bring this up because I want to relate this to Ape being different, right? Ape is different in the idea that it has more value than ICP, and it has shown reputation with the founders that they can produce something of value, right? They can produce Bored Apes of value, largest NFT in the entire world right now. I think they're making like 800 million, somewhere around there. I don't know exactly how much it is, but there is so much royalties, probably 500 million a month being produced in royalties to this program. So they have the money to build a metaverse. They have the money to build whatever they want to compete with anyone they want. And if you go to Crypto Market Cap, look at this. Here's ApeCoin and here's Axie Infinity. ApeCoin is already at the market cap of all of the main metaverse tokens in the world right now. You have Axie, I think Sandbox is up here, and then Decentraland. So it's within 10 spots on the crypto market cap list of overtaking these top tier metaverse coins. And ApeCoin doesn't have an active product. ApeCoin has 0 active product right now, and it's already in the top 50. This shows me that there's value within this coin. There's value within, there's demand within the community to purchase this. So it's a buy for me. And I've told you guys where my buy points are for this. ApeCoin at $10, which we're pretty much sitting at now. ApeCoin at $10, but more specifically, the best buying zone for me. You right, I think this is 950, right around 950. Right around 950. Beautiful buying zone if you haven't got it. Unfortunately, I was able to buy it at $7 and $8 when it consolidated here for like 8 hours. I think most of you in here probably have an entry around this level, which is beautiful. I will evidently be buying more of this. 950 comes, I'm buying more. Set your alerts. This is where I'll signal it out as well when I start buying it. But I want to bet with the monopolies, right? A lot of people have told me, and I agree. A lot of people told me that Bored Ape Yacht Club, CryptoPunks, Meebits, they are monopolizing Web3, and that's fine. But bet with the giants, right? Don't bet against these major corporations or soon-to-be corporations. Bet with them, and you'll have a good time. 950 on Ape, that's where I'll buy it, and I'll most likely be taking out a coin from the top 11 list. We'll take profits on one of them, and we'll move it in, probably Magic. Maybe Magic or Joe. This is a DEX. This is Metaverse coin. We might take one of these out and we'll put in ApeCoin, because I do believe that with the amount of money they have and the ambition behind the project, that they will be in the top 20 market cap, within the next year. I see some questions. Are these moves still valid after the drop today? Yeah, I mean, they're all in profit still, so you can, go for it. Next one is you buying spot on all of those. I assume you reference this list. Yeah, this is a spot list. You can buy futures if you want. You go crazy on it. I won't stop you from it at all. But yeah, don't fade Yuga Labs. That's the main thing I want to go over. No fade on Yuga Labs. Bet with the monopolies, bet with the giants, and you will do good. And then I think my last thing to talk about on here was Next thing was altcoins. All right, we're near the end now. I'm talking about some altcoins that I'm looking at that I like a lot. Starting with Chainlink. I know Chainlink has been rough for a lot of you Link Marines that have been holding this. Fortunately, I do think that it turns around soon. Part of this is a speculative bet that staking comes out, because I do think that something necessary for Chainlink to actually find an expansion move within the next year is the idea that node providers for Link, and at the end of the day, for those that don't know, like Link is a DeFi protocol. You're going to need to have a staking protocol where node providers who are rewarded Chainlink, instead of going directly to centralized exchanges and swapping for cash, right, to make their profit, they can put it into a staking protocol to take away from the total supply and lock away their funds to, you know, make a passive income over time. And otherwise, if that doesn't happen, I don't see this coin ever being, you know, ever going to perform well again. And that's my speculative bet that sometime this year, staking will come out for Link. A centralized staking protocol from the Chainlink Foundation, and this coin can finally make its expanding move, you know, to 20-30 bucks once more. Next up is Litecoin. I do think that Litecoin is one of the majors that is lagging behind right now. I like as of recently, and this is as of the last 8 hours, it had retested. This would have been perfect entry if you guys are watching this. Had retested the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. We're getting into that point again where EMAs can, you know, evidently become more valuable and have more value behind them as people start to use them more. During range bound markets over the last 3 months, you can't really use EMAs because they are stagnated within price, right? EMAs work in a trending market as you find a regression of mean, right? Price breaks out, price needs to retrace. Where does it retrace to? 200 EMA. That's when they work the best. In a range bound market, you won't find value in them. So as we get to that point where Bitcoin breaks out and actually confirms its bullish trend, we'll be able to use them again. That's what I'm looking at. Chainlink, Litecoin. I'm liking Litecoin a lot, right above this $100 level. I'm liking it a lot. Also Polkadot, and I know we already bought Polkadot, but Polkadot has a lot going for it. It has one of the most beautiful, this is an insane raid here. To the downside, I mean, it rated nearly 15% to the downside, taking out all longs that were built up in this range. You know, definitely got liquidated through this, and then you have the mass expansion move back, and then you continually expand back. Break structure the upside here. You break the 200 EMA on the 4 hour, and you can continue. DOT, definitely one of the most important fundamental coins going into 2022, as well as more cryptos enter the ecosystem. You're going to need some type of interoperability chain that can link all these different protocols together. Otherwise, what's the point in crypto if there isn't any interoperability, right? You need these coins to work together, right, in order to make the best out of the space. So DOT, exceptional coin to have exposure to going into 2022 and 2023, as the fundamentals of this coin will be needed direly as the crypto market cap begins to increase in size, and more coins with value, at least ones that are bringing utility value to the market, will have to use this. And then one more. This is another speculative coin I'm looking at. I already have all of my coins for my main portfolio listed and already bought and in profits, but as far as some futures longs, some maybe crazy ones, I mean, alpha is a little risky because downside risk here is still about 10%, but your upside potential reward is looking really nice up into the next potential supply zones, you know, 20%, 60%, you know, 107%. You know, this is a rounded bottom, pays the bills at the end of the day, and we can see that this is happening slowly over time. So keep alpha on your watch list. Definitely one that you could easily grab spot of and forget for the next few months and just come back to a nice little bag. And I think that is everything. We talked about SFund before. This SFund was on my buy list. Where is it? SFund was on my buy list as a metaverse exposure token. I did take it off. I did take SFund off the buy list. I do think that I'm going to be moving something else in there, most likely ApeCoin. I love SFund. It's treated us well if you've been in our Discord for a while, and if you were in here during, what was it? I think we bought it in 2022, not 2021, but I did an extremely large write-up on SFund literally in October. Go back in the Discord and search my name in October, and you'll find my SFund write-up. And we made great money on it. But not only that, I want to do a little quick recap on it. If you guys are looking for some looking for some exposure to the metaverse without actually investing in like metaverse tokens that are, you know, producing land sales or producing a game, right? If you want to look into something that's a little bit more secure, like Seedify, which is the gateway to blockchain gaming, as you can see from the top here. The only reason that, you know, this makes sense is because Seedify is not building a metaverse. Seedify is just giving you the opportunity to invest in these metaverse tokens early. So it's an incubator startup for metaverse coins. And as you can see down here, there's a few that are already up. Metaverse Wear, Penguin Cards, Supernova, whatever it may be. You're able to take your SFund tokens, come into their protocol here, invest early like a VC firm would do, like a private equity fund would do into these, get tokens for extremely cheap, right? As you help fund the product and give them funds to create their vision, right? And then as they, you know, move forward, they are listed on centralized exchanges, you know, you have the opportunity to 100x or 1000x your, you know, tokens that you made here. And SFund currently has the largest amount of projects that have done 100x or more in value from their incubator phase on SFund. So quick thing on SFund, I don't want to shell too much. It's a very, you know, it's a very cool coin. I use the metaphor as it's like investing in jeans and shovels and pickaxes during the gold rush. You don't need to invest in gold. You're less likely to make money on gold. You're more likely to invest in the infrastructure. So that's Seedify. I'm not going to waste your guys' time and talk too much about it. You guys already know if you're in the Discord, talk about it all the time. But yeah, I think we're done with that. I think we're good. We've covered everything. Looks like I'm looking at my list right now. Everything on the list has been gone through. Went over Bitcoin sentiment. We went over how our Bitcoin TA has played out over the last 22 days. So we've been playing the same TA for the last 22 days. It's been paying us handsomely. We talked about the overnight dip, right? And we talked, yeah, actually, we did talk about the overnight dip. I should probably just post this at least. Oh, no, we did. Yeah, I said we're waiting for New York session open. Waiting for New York session open on Monday to make further moves here. There's no real reason to make moves after all our entries have already profited for us. Here we go. One second. Okay. Boom. I guess it was 2 p.m. 5 a.m. 9 a.m. 9. Oh, it's right here. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say we're not going to say we called the top here, but the warning was there, right? We had an entry on HBAR, which is one of the most recent coins I took entry on. We had a 2% move. I wasn't too confident after the 2% move. It seemed like it was stagnating at a supply zone. And again, I told you guys, I suspect as we near closer to the weekly close, we're going to expect small pullbacks. And then I placed stop losses at entry. As you know, don't lose money on coins that go profitable. And then there you go, the retrace in the market from the high, about 3.5%. So not like a crazy retrace, but retrace nonetheless. And that's why I didn't take more entries last night. And I told you guys last night, shout out to the people that came very late on a Saturday evening to come hear me talk about crypto. That's why I told you guys last night, it's not the time to buy yet. Everything in the market retraced overnight. So thank God we were able to get that, alert out and tell you guys that it wasn't the proper time. But now that we're getting the retrace, it's a healthy retrace. It's not a bad retrace whatsoever, but it was bad for us to buy the highs there in the understanding that New York session is coming. And we're not exactly sure what's going to occur after it opens up. So I think we still have some time. I'm not sure if futures are, check. Yeah, futures still waiting right now. Let me check ES1. Yeah, so futures haven't even opened yet. To be fair, SPY futures are extremely bullish right now. The S&P 500 is doing amazing. For those of you that just trade crypto and aren't actually looking at the macro view of other legacy markets, something I suggest you do, as the S&P 500 is controlling a lot of the money inflow and outflow, as a lot of the investments are tied together now. So SPY breaking out of some insanely key levels right now after bottoming, right? Takes out lows, bottoms, breaks highs, and now we're breaking 200 daily. I mean, it looks insane. The S&P 500 was down over was down almost 14% in 2 months of the yearly open. And now we're recovering the move now. We're breaking some key levels. It looks bullish. I assume as the market opens up in the next few hours here, I think it's 1 hour. Yeah, I think daylight savings just become permanent. If that's the case, yeah, we have about an hour. But yeah, there we go. Total market cap overview. We've done everything that we had to do. Bitcoin sentiment, Bitcoin TI over the last 22 days, how it's played out perfectly. Overnight dip, talked about all of our altcoins that we bought right here. Boom, how they're all in profits and we're doing handsomely. Nice, like it's beautiful how this occurred. It's a great example of, you know, patience in the market is going to out time you trying to time bottoms and tops. We went over some of the altcoin changes like ApeCoin, and while we're not fading Bored API Clever Yuga Labs because the potential behind it is too strong, bet with the monopolies. We talked about the layers. What does layer 1 mean, 2 and 3? And we talked about the event of how the layer 1s went fully in profit before anything else. As expected, this is how we created the list to do this specifically. And then we talked about some of the altcoins that we like. And yeah, there we go. Bada bing, bada boom. That's the entire stream. I don't know how long it's been. Hopefully less than 30 minutes. Shout out to everyone showing up. Patience is key, exactly. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I got to fly to Florida soon, so I wanted to get the stream pumped out and posted on YouTube so you guys can have the essential data that we talked about last night today, even though it's 5 or 6 hours late here. But yeah, thanks guys. I appreciate everyone coming in. Drop a like, subscribe, you know, all the standard YouTube stuff. Catch you guys again. Catch you guys inside the Discord. And I will peace out from here.